Welcome back to part 2 of the R32 DSG conversion slash rebuild slash saving an R32. I don't know what you want to call it, but welcome back. And before I get into anything, thank you to everyone who watched the last video and subscribed and left me some positive feedback. It really gave me the motivation to pick the camera back up and get stuck back in with the R32. So yeah, here we are. Talking about being informative, I have found a few more things that are different on the engine, on the 3.2 TT DSG engine in comparison to the Mark IV R32 engine, which I'm going to share with you now. I've been out buying parts, which is painful for me. As an R32 breaker in the past, it's so painful handing over £300 for side skirts and £100 for door cards, and yeah, it's frustrating. However, I am supporting other breakers. I don't break myself anymore, but I'm helping other breakers make money and stuff like that. So I guess we're helping each other, and I'm saving myself the inconvenience of having to strip a car down for the parts. So yeah, I've been out buying loads of parts. We've got side skirts, bumpers, wheels, rad packs, boot, loads of bits, which I'll get into in a second. But before I get into that, I have found a load more things that are different on this engine, and I want to show you those right now, just so I can get them fitted and get them out of the way before I forget. In fact, we'll start off here. So in the last video, I did manage to get the engine started, but as you probably heard, it was running a little bit rough due to the VAT leaks. And basically what they were just a few pipes like this. So this, I can't remember what this is even called, but yeah, it goes to a pipe back here, this side here, that's on the intake manifold, comes all around here, goes to the fuel pressure regulator, and goes to this vacuum for the inlet manifold as well, and then it sits here just underneath here. I can't remember what it's called, it's annoying me. Another thing that was missing as well was this pipe. So this pipe goes to the brake booster on the servo, so just down there, and then it goes all along here and then goes back onto the back of here, and that is what gives you your brake pedal feel and your clutch pedal feel, I think. No, brake? Yeah, just the brake pedal feel, I think, when you're out driving. So those are what were making the engine idle funny. So if you remember, I put my fingers over the little holes here and it ran absolutely perfectly fine. So you can just see there, there's one, and then there's another one. So moving over to the differences, very, very random things these are. Steering pipe that runs down the back of an R32 engine, just here. So basically what it does, you've got your power steering fluid reservoir that sits here, and then the pipe runs all the way down the back, and then it runs down here, bolts onto here, also bolts onto here, and then it goes to your steering rack that will obviously be sitting alongside here. But on the TT, it is slightly different. Well, it's a lot different actually, to the point where I had to get one for the R32. So I'll go over to the TT and just quickly show you. So I'm not too sure why Audi did this, and I'm guessing it's an improvement because Audis do seem to be built better than VWs. So yeah, on the TT, you've got this, this pipe that sits in front of your radiator, that cools down the power steering fluid, and it runs all along here, and then goes to the reservoir there, and then one of the pipes go down to there. So it's just completely different to how it is on the R32. You haven't got this at all. I was tempted to fit it, but I don't think there's any need to do that. I'm only going to be daily in the car. It's not like I'm going to be tracking it or anything like that. So yeah, if you are going to use this engine on a non-R32 or whatever, make sure you get this pipe that I just mentioned. So yeah, it goes to the steering rack here, runs alongside the back of the engine, like so. I think it's a little bit bent from where I took it out, but oh no, it's not actually. It goes like that. So yeah, make sure you get that, and you need this bolt as well, because on the TT engine, it's just 3 of these hexes. One of those needs to be removed and replaced with this one, so that this pipe can sit on it with this little nut, which we'll do in a second. Also the back of the engine, again, if you can, try and get this nut, bolt and nut, sorry, because on the TT you've just got 2 of these, and then like I said, that bracket will sit on there. So yeah, just a little bit of information that I thought I'd share with you, because if I wasn't lucky enough to have all these R32s in this unit, then I probably would have missed that and I'd have been scratching my head. One more thing before I forget, actually. I was talking about the TT MAF and this housing thing here in the last video. Turns out the MAF sensor on the TT is slightly larger, and I couldn't actually get the TT MAF sensor to fit in the R32 pipe because this pipe on the TT is different. So again, something to bear in mind. So those little few bits have been done now. I've changed around the power steering pipe. Obviously it's all still loose because loads of work left to do. But yeah, all runs down there. We've got the correct bolt and nut on that and behind the engine, sorry. What else have we done? Oh yeah, we fitted this as well. Like, I still can't remember what it's called. But we fitted this, all runs properly now. Goes to the fuel pressure regulator, goes to this vacuum here, runs along here and goes to here. And the brake booster or brake servo booster pipe, whatever you want to call it, that is on too. So in fact, it should start and sound a lot better now actually. So let's give it a little try. So yes, idling a lot better now. There is that noise from the steering pump because there's only a little bit of fluid in there. I thought I had some, I only had half a bottle, so I've put what I could in there, but it's still not enough. So the power steering pump is making a lot of noise. I've put the subframe on as well. We're going to get to the coilovers. We're going to get to loads of things. So I just wanted to get those little bits out of the way. But yeah, today's plan is to get the front end on, get the suspension on, maybe get the rear bumper on. I've got an exhaust for it as well. I've got a boot for it. In fact, let's just go and see what I've got for this car now. So here we are. Here are most of the parts we need to get this car running, I think. Well, it's running, but on the road, I don't know. But here are the parts. Let's have a little look. So let's start. We've got some R32 wing mirrors. These are R32 specific. They've got a blue tint to them, if those that don't know. And they are smaller as well. I think they're 150 millimeters over the standard 175. R32 Xenons, Miltech exhaust. I was going to buy a new exhaust, but we're trying to keep the cost down. So I've got a old Miltech. From what I can gather, there is no leaks, which is a surprise. But yeah, anyway, that's another story. We've got some brand new drive shafts. If you remember in the last video, the old drive shafts were absolutely ruined. We've got some new clocks, or not new, but new to me clocks. These ones are full screen, meaning that instead of, well, full screen, instead of having a half a screen like normal, it's the full thing, which we're going to need for the DSG. So you're going to have to see what gear you're in, which mode you're in and all that good stuff. So that was a good find. We have got 1, 2, 3 R32 wheels. Long story behind that, but yeah, I've only got 3. So I'm on a look for a 4th one. If you know anyone with one, hit me up. R32 5-door side skirts. These are specific to the 5-door. Yeah. Rear bumper. Oh yeah, managed to find these on eBay for £300. And color coded as well. So that was a good find. R32 grille. Well, a grille with an R32 badge. R32 rear bumper, genuine, of course. Genuine R32 front bumper. Did I say front then? Rear bumper, front bumper. Smoothed out as well, which I'm not too sure. I don't know if I'm happy about that or not. This isn't going to be a show car, and I can't bother to put my number plate in anywhere else other than on the front bumper. So maybe I'll put the plinth on. And R32 rear boot. Again, these are R32 specific. The spoiler is specific to the Mark 4 R32. We've got the blue tinted glass as well. And of course the R32 badge on it. The boot itself isn't any different, but the spoiler is, and the glass. Right, coilovers. We'll come back to these. We've got fan pack and a slam panel. I do need to find a different slam panel because this one has been trimmed a little bit. So I could do with another one. Yeah, so like I said, we've pretty much got everything to make this look like a car again. I'm quite excited actually to get all this. It's like an adult Lego. So yeah, I'm going to, don't know where to start actually. I'm looking forward to getting my space back though, because it's literally taking up a car's worth of space, probably more than a car's worth of space just for these little parts. So yeah, I'm going to crack on, get a few bits on, see where we end up, and yeah, enjoy. So coilover wires, I have got these. I know what you're thinking, they're an absolute mess. But these are a set of Bilstein coilovers. Back in the day, they were top of the range ones, and I've checked, and the rebound is still, I can barely push it down with one hand, but you can, I'm hoping you can see that. If you can't, you're just gonna have to take my word for it. These coilovers were actually on the black R32 that is now green. So basically the R32 rebuild that I've been rebuilding. So yeah, they've been sat for a long time, but there's no damage to them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to soak them in WD-40 and hope that they come up. Judging by the springs, like they're the rear springs, they're the springs for the front. It's all okay, it's usable. Now I could go out and buy some new ones, but that's money that I don't want to spend. In fact, it's money that could be spent elsewhere. This project is getting a little bit expensive now, so I'm trying to reuse stuff where I can. So yeah, I'm going to soak these overnight. Fingers crossed they clean up well. I don't really need them to adjust. From memory, they're sat at a nice height anyway. They're wound all the way down. The helpers are there as well, so they're not stupidly low. So yeah, I'm going to soak them in WD-40, try and clean them up a little bit, and we'll just see what happens. Right, so no messing about, let's get straight to it. Let's make some space first of all, and then the second thing I'm going to do is fit the wing mirrors. Well, first thing I'm going to fit are the wing mirrors. Really easy to do. They just clip on, and then they've got one bolt going through them. While I'm here, I thought, you know what, let's put the door cards on as well. Easy to do. Again, I think it's 3 Phillips screws and then 3 Torx at the bottom. Really nice and easy. Again, another job done. In fact, before I go any further, I'm going to clear this car out because it is doing my head in. It's just, like I said in the previous video, I've literally just been chucking rubbish in there, not really caring about it. So I need to clear this out because we do need to remove the dashboard. So I'm not going to be able to do that with all this rubbish in there. So let's clean this out, and then we'll continue. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I hate working on dirty cars. Even when I used to break them, I used to clean them out first and then strip them. I don't know what it is, but anyway, yeah. Quick clean out. As I said, I've been chucking bits and bobs in this car as we go along. There's a few bits actually from the car in the car as well. So I'll be making use of those parts. But yeah, it was insane to see how many parts actually came out of this car. And it was really nice to get it cleaned out. That literally felt like it was never ever going to stop. Look at all of that stuff that was in there. Yeah, now that I've done that, it'll be rude not to hoover this up quickly. I can't bear working on a car in this state. So yeah, let's give it a quick hoover out and then carry on with the rebuild. On with the other side now for the wing mirrors, and the door card. Again, same as the other side. 3 Phillips, 1 Torx on the wing mirror, and 3 Torx on the bottom of the door card. Next up, we're getting stuck in with the boot now. Again, quite easy to fit, apart from there's some wiring that goes around the back of it and then goes down the side of the rear, what we're calling them? Pillars, yeah, C-pillars. They're quite difficult to get to, so you can see me here just struggling. And when I removed the old boot as well, I cut the wires, so I was trying to remove the old wires as well as fit the new wires. So yeah, bit of a long one, but we got there in the end. Now, I was just about to make a start on the rear bumper and realised that one of the connectors for the number plate lights has broken off. Now, if you ever come across this problem in the future, just know that you can actually replace this. You don't have to bodge this one up or cut and solder. If you don't want to remove the bumper, then yeah, maybe just soldering a new plug on is the best way. But if you want to change the whole loom, it literally runs through here in a grommet. And if we go around here, try and pull this forward, see if you can see it. You might just be able to see it. I don't think you're going to, oh maybe. But basically, there is a connector just there that you can unplug, and that will unplug the whole loom for the number plate lights, and then you can just replace it like I'm about to right now. So moving on to the next thing, I decided to fit the rear suspension. As I mentioned earlier on in the video, the front suspension isn't in great condition, so that's off, soak in, and then I'll clean it up. But the rear suspension is okay, so I thought, you know what, let's fit it up and let's put the rear wheels on as well. Right, so change of plan. Here's what's going to happen. The idea was to put this rear suspension on, the rear wheels, put a jack under the front subframe, jack it up, and move the car around to where I need it to. Obviously lower it down on the rear wheels and then use the jack on the front to be able to maneuver the car where I need it to be, because I'm struggling with the space. It's too close to the car next to it for me to get in and out. And like I said, I need to remove the dashboard, and it's going to be hard to do that while the car's like that. So plan B, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the drive shafts on. I've been and got a suspension off one of my other Golfs. So I've got a KWV3 suspension that I'm going to put on the front. It's not going to stay on this car because it is a bit overkill for a car that I just want to daily around. So yeah, I'm going to put that on the front, put the new drive shafts on, put the brakes on, put the wheels on, and try and drive it. Put a radiator on it, of course, put the slam panel on, and then try and drive it into a much better space. So all I'm going to do is try and, like, I don't know, just maybe turn it on its side so it's in this space here instead of just like there. Obviously, I haven't driven this car with the DSG box. I didn't really want this to be the first test drive in the unit, just like moving in and out, but I think that's what it's going to be. Now, you might remember in one of the videos, I had to pull that wire out for the DSG controller that was going to the ECU loom. This wire here, obviously, as you can see, I never pull it in, and I was able to start the car without it. Now, I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to use the DSG gearbox without that. I don't want to risk damaging it, but I'm thinking it's got reverse, it's got obviously neutral, it's got forward. Surely it'll be okay. I don't need to change gear, and I'm assuming that's all that is. That is literally just to control the gears with the Mechatronic unit. So I'm sure I'll be able to get first. If not, that's all been a waste of time, but at least the car is a bit more built up. So anyway, I'm just waffling on. That is what I'm going to do now. So plan is to put the drive shafts on, put the front suspension on, put the brakes on, put the slam panel on with the radiator, and then move it to where I need to move it to. So wish me luck, and let's see how we get on with this. So let's get stuck in with the new plan. First things first, drive shafts. Here I am fitting the passenger side drive shaft. Like I said earlier on in the video, they are new, they are aftermarket, but they are brand spanking new. New bolts for the hub and new bolts to the gearbox side as well. Right, so we're cracking on now, and I've just come across the most randomest problem. So I'm on with the drive shafts. I've got the passenger side in, no problems whatsoever. Come to do the driver's side, problems. Basically, the PCD, like the holes that you use to bolt the drive shaft onto the gearbox, are different on the drive shaft that I've got. So I've got some new drive shafts. They're not OEM. They're from, actually I won't even mention them because I don't want to bait them up like that. But basically, you know what I should do? Because a few years ago, I bought a drive shaft from these guys and it was wrong. It was too long. So I should really out them, but I'm not going to anyway. So yeah, the drive shaft flange, let's just call it, is completely different. Let me just show you, because I'm just rambling on and I'll be able to demonstrate it better by showing you. So this is the drive shaft in question. Like I said, it is the driver's side, which is the longer one. This bit that bolts to the gearbox via 6 bolts is different. So those holes don't line up with the holes on the gearbox. Now I've got here a section of the old drive shaft, but this is from the passenger side. So bear that in mind, driver's side, passenger side. And what I've done is I've checked it against them, put these bolts in just to line it up, and it all lines up perfectly. So I thought, okay, maybe I'm just doing something wrong. So I've took the drive shaft, tried to refit it again to the car. Again, still not lining up. Now I thought I was losing the plot because, like I said, this is lining up. This is the OEM one, but like I said, this is from the passenger side. I'm confusing myself now. So this is from the passenger side. So I thought, right, there's definitely something up. So I've gone over, get out of the way, and I've lined it up against the driver's side, the OEM one basically. So that's the OEM drive shaft from the driver's side. This is the aftermarket one, and you can already see a difference. So if you look here on the OEM one from the passenger side, and you look at the OEM one from the drive, they're completely different already. Now, these aftermarket drive shafts are both the same. So this is the same as the one on the passenger side. The passenger and the driver side are both the same. Stay with me, stay with me. Anyway, so what I've done is, obviously, because this one and this one is the same, as we've just mentioned, I've moved that one out of the way, and I've tried to line these ones up, which they should line up, but they don't. So put that hole in, that one's lining up all right. So that's 2, which I did actually manage to get 2 in. But if you try and go for a third one, it won't go in. And I don't think you're gonna be able to see this, but I don't think you're gonna be able to see it, but it's basically just off center. You just have to take my word for it. It's the PCD does not match, and I'm assuming there's a reason behind that, because look how different they are, driver's side to passenger side. That's not something you see on a manual gearbox. Now I'm sure someone in the comments is going to know a lot more than me about this, but there's even these like little bits here which I'm guessing is to relieve a bit of stress or allow them to move. I don't know, but I didn't know this, and it looks like this company didn't know this either, and they've gone ahead and sent me the wrong ones, which is really annoying because I really want to get this video out today, but I'm probably not going to be able to because of that. What I did think about doing is taking the OEM, that flange off the OEM drive shaft, and putting it on the aftermarket one, but I put money on the internals being completely different. I highly doubt they've manufactured the aftermarket part to the same specifications as the OEM part for a fraction of the cost. It looks completely different anyway. The housing looks completely different on the outside. Let me show you. So this basically is all round, and this one is it's got flat spots and dips in there, and basically there's like a little ball in there, I don't know what you call it, but there's like 3 balls that go in from this side. So yeah, I highly doubt that this one is the same. And if I obviously take that off, which is what I was thinking to do, take that off, put that one on there, I'd obviously void the warranty, and I need to send this back and get the right one sent to me. What I'm going to do in the meantime, I just thought about it. What I'm going to do is, this one isn't obviously as bad as this one. This one's completely split, hanging off. I'm just going to use this one for now, because all I want to do is get the car on the floor, move it into a better position so I can finish off building it up. So I think I'm going to, this sounds so dodgy. I'm just going to tape this up so no more of this fluid comes out. I can't remember what it's called now. And then, yeah, stick it on and see how we get on. Let's crack on. So yeah, not really proud of this little bodge here, but it is what it is. We just want to get the car on the ground and get the car moving. It's not like I'm going to take it out like this or put it through an MOT like this. Once a new drive shaft comes, I can get that one fitted as well. So moving on to the coilovers, as I mentioned, these are a set of KWV3 coilovers, really expensive and really overkill for this car, but I have them to hand, and it's better than not having any coilovers. So these came with camber top mounts. Someone had put aftermarket ones on. I'm just replacing the bearing and putting some standard top mounts on, and then we're going to move over to the calipers and discs. Buy some discs again from another R32 that I've got, because this one never had any, and the disc and pads are quite worn, but we're going to be changing them in the future anyway. Right, we have the coilovers on, we have the brakes on, what I'm going to do now, in fact, the brakes, discs and all that, that could all do for refurbish, but for now we're a little bit far away from that, so we'll tackle that in a different video. So I'm going to bleed the brakes, and I'm going to also fit the radiator pack along with the slam panel. Before I do that, I just wanted to show you something that you're going to need if you're going to do this conversion. And that is this little radiator here. This is for the DSG gearbox, and that sits basically just kind of here. In fact, it's funny because let me fit it and then I'll show you. So it actually sits in there like this, and these bolts, well, these holes on the chassis are actually there from factory as well. Just showing you again that obviously there was a DSG version and they used a lot of parts that they used on the TT for the R32 as well. So that sits in there like it's meant to. The only thing that it hasn't got is the like holes to hold this bracket here. So there's another bracket, don't know if you can see it, but that bracket here, and that sits there. So all I'm going to do is obviously mark that up, drill and put a, I can't remember what you call it, but I'm going to fix it basically. But yeah, even this little bracket here, again, if you're going to do this conversion, grab this off the TT. So this is for the pipes, the coolant, the pipes that go to the DSG gearbox. So they just sit in there like that. Once you go there. This is quite hard doing this with one hand, but all for YouTube. So yeah, that just secures it in there, and that's secured to the little fan module there. That normally these brackets obviously wouldn't be here, but as you can see, they've been made specifically to sit in that place there like that, and then they just pop on like that. So yeah, all nice and OEM. I'm loving that. Obviously, I'm going to go and tighten these up. These are not OEM nuts and bolts, but it doesn't really matter. But anyway, so I'm going to crack on with the rest of it now. I'm going to obviously put them on. Need to put a coolant bottle in there, put the radiator on, fill it with coolant, let it self-bleed, and then I'm also going to be bleeding the brakes. And then, yeah, we're not very far off getting it on the floor and seeing if it drives, even though we haven't got that loom fitted. I think we're going to get drive and reverse, and obviously neutral. We're just not going to be able to change gears, which is just obvious. So cracking on with the radiators and stuff, I just fitted that DSG little radiator thing, as you can see, and then I'm going to be putting the front radiator on. Again, really easy, using this jack to prop it up, put all the pipes on, put the clips on, put the AC pipes on, and then we can move over to the slam panel and yeah, start moving along. So I did at this point try and bleed the master cylinder. There's two little nuts on the master cylinder itself. I just couldn't get a spanner onto them, while the right size spanner for some reason. So I just left it and thought, you know what, while I've got the bleeder on there, I might as well bleed the front brakes. Next up, coolant. Obviously took a lot of coolant because it had all been drained. The radiator had been drained, both radiators had been drained in fact, and the whole engine had been drained as well. So it did take quite a lot of coolant. So we are about ready to get the car down on all four wheels. I put coolant in. I couldn't bleed the master cylinder for some reason, well, because I couldn't get to the spanners. I couldn't get a spanner on the two nuts. So I'm gonna have to address that at another time. I'm gonna have to bleed the whole car anyway using Vagcom to bleed the ABS. I'm assuming there's gonna be air in there. I did bleed the two front brakes just for the sake of it. But there's coolant in there, the radiator's on, the battery's on. I think, yeah, like I said, I've got a steering wheel in there. I'm going on like I'm going on some big trip. I'm literally going to be dropping it down and like putting it here just so I can work on it a little bit easier, because I need to remove the dashboard. I need to put the exhaust on, and it's in a very, very tight space there. So I'm going to stop talking and just drop the car down and try and drive it, because I'm chatting loads of rubbish right now. Here we go. I can't believe my first drive literally is going to be around here. I really hope the brakes work, otherwise I'm going to fly straight into the R8 or the Focus RS. So I need to decide which car I want to hit. I'm thinking it's going to be cheaper to fix the RS. So I'm going to go with that. No car seats at the minute, so we're sitting on a battery. Got a little shifter in that. We're in neutral. For those that are wondering whether the car starts with no immobiliser and no clocks, it does. For that first start up. Right, so I've got a bit of brake pedal. Let's go, need to go down to D. Okay, it's not driving. All that hype for nothing. It's not. Reverse. No, nothing. Right, okay. Okay, wow. It doesn't work. I'm guessing we need to plug all this stuff in. What an anticlimax. I'm really surprised at that because it has got a lever and a linkage to the gearbox, which obviously puts it in neutral, puts it in reverse, puts it in drive. Now, I don't really know how DSG gearboxes work. I do know they've got a Metatronic unit, which is like a computer that tells it what gear to be in. But yeah, mate, I don't know. I don't know what to say, really. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do now, whether I'm going to carry on with this video or end it here. So if I end it here, thank you for watching. Go and subscribe and tune into the next video. If I don't end it here, keep watching because I'm going to push the car to where it needs to be and crack on with it. So yeah, I decided to stay on and push the car to where it needed to be. It was quite heavy. These cars are super heavy, and with the DSG gearbox, it's even heavier now. If anyone knows in the comments or watching this knows how much the gearbox weighs on a DSG Mark 1 TT, let me know because they are super, super heavy. Anyway, cracking on now, putting a rear anti-roll bar because one was missing. The only one I had was an upgraded one, so yeah, the car's now got a really expensive rear anti-roll bar. Onto the exhaust next. Yeah, this is a Miltech exhaust, non-resonated. We do still have the cats in, so it will sound good, but it still sounds a little bit quiet, which in my old age is what I kind of want anyway when I'm driving about on a daily basis. I don't want to have a loud droning exhaust. Miltech exhausts, I've always had these. They sound really good, but they do blow a lot. Like they do break and the welds crack, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Anyway, onto the rear bumper and then rear lights. I didn't mention earlier on, yeah, got some US spec rear lights. These are really hard to get now. And if you're looking for a set of these and you come across a second-hand set, they're about £200. I personally think these are the better looking lights, as close to OEM. Well, they are OEM in America, obviously, hence US lights. But yeah, I really like these. While isn't that looking a lot better now? Rear end's looking really, really good. Obviously, it's not perfect. Remember, this was a scrap shell. So not only am I DSG converting this car, I'm actually saving it as well because it was ready to be scrapped. It was stripped, no engine, no bodywork, nothing. And I'm saving it. Saving another R32. What a difference it makes. I used to strip these cars, scrap them, sell the parts, but now I'm saving them. I must have grown up. But listen, I think I'm going to end the video here because I did want to put the side skirts on, but if we take a little look down here, we've got all these factory sealant on there that I need to take off, which is going to be very, very time consuming. Also, there's loads on the other side of the side skirts as well. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, go and follow me on Instagram, Anton Level Up, and go and check out Level Up giveaways where you can win some BC coilovers, some wheels, cash, cars, loads of prizes. Level Up giveaways, go and check it out. Until next time, guys, see you later. Bye bye.